Welcome to another vlog with Dr. Eve, where we talk about all things living well and building a strong home economy from the soil up. Super excited, y'all. It's Monday. Do I look super excited? Y'all, I slept in this morning. It was tough. We did a makeover. We're going to talk about this here good experimental makeover, okay? Because last week I went live and I said experiment over. Y'all, the frost hit and Jack Frost frosted over some things, okay? So we're going to take a look at the garden this morning and see what is happening here and how I was able to recover even from the frost, okay? Now, remember, here we talk about all things well being from the soil up, beginning with how we grow our food, how we prepare our food, how we store our food, how we shop, how we build big business, how we do all the things that create the wealth that we need in our home economies. So today, I'm just leaving the chicken coop because there's a kitty cat over there trying to get to the chicken, y'all. He is fierce. He's been over here. He jumps the fence. But baby, he don't stand a chance over here with Mama Eve, okay? So we're going to take a look at what has happened inside the observation tent. One tent has been completely removed. I don't know what I'm probably going to do some trellising with it. And only one other tent is has some summer vegetables in it. But I'm going to show you what happened and the beauty of pre-planting, preparing, and all of the things, and how good this tent looks in spite of Jack Frost. Okay, so let's take a look. We're going to walk into observation tent number one and take a look. This was observation tent number two. It is gone. But we're going to go down into observation tent number one. I tried some thermal heating and everything, y'all, and it was not, it didn't do good in that 20-degree weather. So we got hit with one of the hardest frosts I've seen in this time of the year for the South. But will y'all look at this? Will y'all look at how beautiful this looks? In spite of, I was able to save all of my bags because they all had vegetables in the bottom. So what you are looking at right now is the recovery phase after the frost, because the summer vegetables were completely washed out. They did not do well after the frost. The frost hit them pretty hard. That means the tomatoes are gone, the peppers are gone. Uh, yeah, but what is here are the citrus trees. The citrus the citrus trees survived, and they will stay here and continue to produce. The avocados look like they got hit a little bit, but they'll be okay. They'll be okay. So we'll just put some bags over those two avocados because we definitely want them to remain. The citrus is citrusing, it's doing well. So as you can see, the lemons have turned lemony, so we're gonna let them just keep hanging there. We'll pick them when we want to pick them. We don't have to pick them, so we won't. The clomidins are doing well. It's another citrus over here. Two is a no one, and here's another lime here, and I think there's another one right here. So even though while the summer crop experiment is over for this particular tent because they did go bad, this is what was left, and it's absolutely beautiful. Why did this work for me? Why do I still have green things still growing in this tent? It's because everywhere there was a herb, like for example, the basil. This was the result of basil. So the basil got hit, but the green vegetables didn't get hit because they are winter crop. So I just cut the basil off at the root, left the stem there so that these could continue to grow, and they're absolutely gorgeous. I did the same In this bag where there was a basil, this is a basil stump, y'all. Do y'all see how strong that stump is? It's rooted so deep that I could not move it. All I know is we've stopped the growth. Even though that stump is there, we have stopped the growth of it, and now these green leafy vegetables can continue to flourish. This is collards, this is a broccoli. There's actually a lot of broccoli out here. A lot of collards and a lot of broccoli. This is my ginger. I'm not pulling it yet. It's still green, but I can pull it soon. I can pull it anytime. These are all green leafy vegetables that had, this is the stump. See, this is also the stump of a basil tree. I removed and cut the tree down. It's still really green though, so we'll see what happens. It may something might grow back next year. We're gonna leave it there and see. But in the meantime, these green leafy vegetables are doing what they do. And that is what you are seeing here after the frost. This is the tent, the observation tent after the frost. We over here we also have again green leafy vegetables growing. I just put green leafy vegetables in here with the plants. This was a tomato plant, and no, this was also a basil. See the basil stump right there. Here we had a broccoli. This is a, I want to say that's a broccoli, but I can't be sure. But it looks like broccoli leaves. Could be. This is definitely another basil stump. So we've got lots of green leafy vegetables that are continuing to grow. It was a great experiment to see whether the summer crops would thrive, and whether these would grow in the same bag with the basil, with the summer crops. Now the success here is in how these green leafy vegetables survive. That is definitely the success in this tent. I'm so excited about that. I cleaned it out really, really good, so that these can just continue to grow. I don't need to do anything. And when I say anything, I'll probably fertilize still, because this tent still gives them a little bit of warmth from the outdoors. But what I did put in here was my winding jasmine, because now that I know that the these vegetables, or the summer vegetables won't grow here, I can start winding my jasmine up this tent so that it can begin to trellis in here, because this plastic will come off in the summer. So I am being very strategic about what this area will look like in the spring. And all of these panels come off of here. So I still highly recommend this type of tent for if you are choosing to and desire to have a covered space. I still recommend this because these are all separate panels. This is a panel, can come off. This is a panel, and it can come off. This is the third panel and with a window and can come off. And this is panel number 4. So each one of these panels unzip at the bar, at the intersection of the bar, which makes this a beautiful option to have if you want a covered space to grow in. I built this deck. So this is, and it's covered because under the ground I didn't want to have, to fight with weeds. So while this is a mobile garden that's in here, this is actually a deck that I put the tent over top of. Just very creative way to utilize your space for the winter. And outside of it is all beautiful. All around this deck is beautiful beds of greens. As you can see outside, the orchard is asleep now, but we're going to go outside and show you the rest. This area is where the second tent was, and it was covered with plastic, but it didn't make it. And so what we're going to do is we're going to build a bed here. I'm going to put I was waiting for them to go anyway, but I was just testing to see how long they would last. So here I'm actually going to build another planter box and put it here because I love flowers. So I have a cottage garden and I love plants everywhere. So winter, yeah, my favorite winter activity actually is I would have to say sitting by the fire, baby, because I don't like to be outside in the cold. But if it were one, I liked to ski when I was younger, but I don't do too much of it anymore. But anyway, at any rate, this is the where the covered tent was. But I am gonna brace this. What I've decided to do is to go ahead and stand this up and lock it in, and just have a bunch of beautiful tent trellises around the property so that I can grow viney, beautiful vines. That way, I don't have to invest in, um, tents. I don't have to invest in, all of those trellises. I don't have to do that because I'm going to use everything on the property as a trellis. So we're going to move these legs up and we're going to raise this bar. We're going to raise this and I'm going to brace it around this particular bedded area so that way I can hang pots off of it in the spring. I can hang beautiful floral hanging, you know, flowers that will grow in the spring and, let whatever grows may want to grow on top, allow it to just use the space as a flower trellis. This is a citrus garden here as well. So I did put these under cover. So because it was going to get hit. It did get hit a little bit. I can see a little bit of burn even in this. But we got her behind some plastic now. So this is a lemon bush. We did get her behind. I was able to find just one of this triangular tent. So it was a work I had to get. I couldn't find anything this time of the year, but I did find this this little trellis, and so I put it over and put her under some plastic protection. This is the not the mango, but this is the mandarin. The mandarin is doing well. So we don't grow citrus in zone 8 well because it gets frost. It gets the frost. She died in the frost the first year, but she's back and I refuse to lose her. So she's under she's under plastic. She's under some plastic because she's got to stay warm. At the base of her, I put some bubble wrap so she can stay nice and warm. But something interesting happened that I want to show you all. And we're going to take a walk over to the um, the vineyard area, the grapevine area. This is the grapevine area, y'all. And these are the vines. So we're going to be shifting these vines around so that they are lower and build a T-post here so that we have a grapevine in here so that these aren't in the crosswalk, in the path, because I got a whole another branch of grapes that are growing down here and they need to go up on that. So I don't want them to be in the way of each other. But let me show you something, what I noticed. Because this also has a bunch of vines growing all over this makeshift. I encased this because I didn't want things getting in here and I wanted a place for these vines to grow. And they did grow. They grew well. This is the muscadines. Now we have a chance to get in here and clean this area up. So we'll be doing that as well. But look at this. Do y'all remember me telling y'all about the banana and how I took the bananas and I protected them? I wrapped them up so that they wouldn't freeze, so that my bananas wouldn't have to start all over again because every year they will break down to the ground and I would have to start them all over again. Well, can y'all look at this right here? Y'all see these things grew anyway? They came out the top of the plastic. So that is literally a banana leaf, y'all, that shot right out the top. I cut this thing back and it shot right out the top of it. Like, look at that. Can y'all believe that? I was like, no, I didn't want all three of them. And this one's trying. This one's trying. There's four. And look, all three of them came through the roof. They still trying to grow. They still trying to grow even with the bubble wrap. Because I took them down. I put the plant to sleep. I took all the leaves and put it at the base so we could keep the banana tree warm, nice and warm. Because this is what typically happens to the banana. It will, the frost will hit it and it will die back all the way. But I didn't want these big babies to die all the way back to the ground because they're huge. So, but they still trying to grow. Look at that. That is big R, big D, ridiculous. At any rate, the the orchard is asleep. I thought, or so I thought. What else do I want to show y'all out here? Okay, let's go back to. So that was the tent space, tent number one, tent number two. Even though that part of the experiment is over, the greens flourish. That was the positive in the experiment, right? Let's go into tent number three so you can see what's happening in there with the greens. There's two green summer vegetables that still are still hanging out in here. And we're going to go take a look at those. Oh, it's nice and warm. I moved my tropicals in here too because they were not going to survive out there either. So I wanted to give them a chance. So I brought them in here. This is a very small and tight space with vegetables and my seed trays, drying seeds. This is a very, very small and tight space. And these are the two. Uh-oh, they're not going to make it either. These are the two vegetables. Look at that. So they're not going to make it either. So they have gone. They've been hit. They are a little Jack Frosty. So, and the peppers are as well. Even though it's nice and warm in here right now, it was not warm in here overnight probably. But the apples, everything that's over here under these tents, well, this looks like it needs some water bad. I need to give that some water real bad before I lose it. I don't want to lose those. They cost a lot of money. Yeah, we need to give those some water. I need to come back out here, make sure they have some water. But the tropicals, the two tropical plants, we're going to keep those. And this one got hit a little bit too. I did bring this avocado over here. So I did bring one of them and set it down. This is the overwintering pepper that I brought in here. This is that plant that I told you was an annual. It was doing good. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to cut the leaves off, cut it back, and I'm going to see if it comes back. So we're going to test that. But this is warm when the sun is shining. So it's very, very warm in here right now. But that I'm trying to hear what's sound like something in here. Oh, that's the wind. But what we do know is that those summer crops are gone. All right. So experiment over for that. The beauty though is that what did happen, what did happen and was very successful was planting those green leafy vegetables at the base. So if you ever want to try that, that was very, very, very successful. Now let's look at what's left out here, the green mobile garden. The green mobile garden is doing well. Let's take a walk through. You can see the broccolis are coming in. The broccoli heads. The broccoli heads are coming in. Very, very excited about that. All of them are coming in. They're shooting up. And the good thing is I have other vegetables in these pots as well. So I am maximizing my garden experience and it is actually doing super, super well. Another broccoli coming up over here, but I will plant something else at the base of it. Because once these broccolis are gone, then what? You have an empty bag. And so I don't want an empty bag. So what I've been doing is I have been planting, let me show you. I've been planting seeds at the bottom. so that these are the babies. These are the seeds that I put at the bottom so that they can continue to grow even as we take leaves from. So succession in the bag. So all of these have succession seeds. You see there? These are succession seeds that are growing. All right, here's another succession seed. You see the succession seeds are growing. They're doing well. They will strengthen. They're being protected. They're growing. Let's see, do I have any more? Yep. Succession planting is a really good thing. This has beautiful plants that I can eat off of right now. This is the Brussels. Don't have any Brussels yet, but then I have baby kale growing right behind it in all of my pots. See them? And you can do the same. This has been a super successful experience for me. Let me show you. Here's another one. Here's another one right here. Beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? And I think it's 4 seeds in there, so it's probably too many seeds. Probably need to thin them out. But I'm going to let them grow, and I'll maybe thin it out, and put something in another pot. But for now, y'all, it's doing really, really well. And putting the extras in the pots is really happening. Hola. Hola. Everything. This is the mobile garden. Super, super impactful mobile garden. Is doing well. We're preparing some new pots over here. I had to cut down everything over here. Got hit by the frost. So we cut it all down. Putting this to sleep. Putting the perennial gardens to sleep. We're going to mulch those over. All of the plants, all of the pollinator garden is gone now. It's got to be. I'm just going to leave it though. I said I'm just going to leave it because it has a lot of seeds. What kind of plants I have? Absolutely. I have all green leafy vegetables, and I'm in zone 8. These are kale. I don't know variety because I'm not really, whatever grows in my zone. These are what you call heirlooms that grow specific to my zone. I'm in zone 8. So these are kale in this bag here. These are kale mixed with cabbage and dinosaur kale, lacinato. These are lacinato. We have Brussels sprouts. This is a Brussels sprout in the bag. These plants have 3 and 4 plants in the bag. We have broccoli. This is a whole garden in one bag. Literally, this is a whole garden, y'all, in one bag. You got lacinato, you got Brussels sprouts. No, I know one of them has broccoli, collards. This has Brussels sprouts and broccoli. So you can put more than one in the bag, and you can see how successful they are. They're extremely successful, and then I'm gonna wheel back around because I want to show you also the lettuce, and when I tell you these lettuce are ready, we're gonna eat lettuce today for dinner. Um, we're gonna eat nice raw vegetables for dinner, so I'm gonna have lots of lettuce because it's time. To pick these. So I'm going to just pick them before because it's time. So I will take this whole one, these 2, and time to eat them. But look, see, I planted more seeds. You have to plant more seeds so that they continue to grow. So in these, I put lettuce. This is romaine lettuce. Over here are all lettuce. This is butternut. This is bok choy. Spinach, red lettuce. This is all cold leafy. This is the Russian kale here. We have some more spinach. You got to put in lots of herbs, oregano. I'm going to show you something else. I'm going to go to the back garden real quick because I want you to see how well it's doing back here. The perennial bed, like I said, it's going to sleep, and we're going to be mulching that over. But these are all evergreen. These are blueberries that I put all alongside here so that when the spring comes, we have lots of berries. Um, some more bags I'm prepping for the spring. But these are Brussels sprouts, cabbage, cauliflower, romaine lettuce, all in one spot because I was protecting these from the sun. You can see how the frost hit. Ooh, it's cold. But these are my cauliflower. I'm waiting for them to start peeping through. They haven't peeped through yet. They are trying to survive the bugs that ate them up this summer. But they're doing well. This one's coming back, fighting for its life. But there are at least 4 or 5 of them in here. So, but this is a new bed. It's doing really, really well. Collards, kale, and Brussels sprouts. Brussels sprouts in that corner, kale in that corner, and these are collards. I put some more blueberries along here. The thing about it is you really have to prepare. Do what gets you, gonna make is gonna make the spring robust. This is all collards, and this is kohlrabi. Kohlrabi is a really nice kind of uh, root vegetable, but it gets a big, has a great big base, and you can cut it, you can cook it, you can eat it raw. You can put salt, pepper, and eat it like cucumbers. Look at them squirrels are everywhere. I'm gonna put this asparagus bed to sleep in a little bit because it's time. This is all greens, again, all collards. I just put as many as I could in there. I think it's, I want to say is one, two, three, it's 12, at least 12, 1, 2, 3, 4, times 4 is 16 plants in there. This is broccoli, and they're coming in now. As you can see, the broccoli heads are starting to grow, so we're going to need to put something in this bed because it's going to be empty. It can stay empty. You don't have to put something in all the beds. But if you're going to, you might as well put some greens in there. Y'all grow them greens. This is I just took out the okra. I left the base in. As you can see, let me take it closer. I left the base in, but I had planted these underneath the okra, and look how beautiful they are. I planted them. I used all of my space. This is broccoli. They're coming in really, really nicely. Um, Looking kind of small, but they are coming in. So we're just going to watch them. I'm going to give them some fertilizer today. Um, this is another bed. This is blueberries out here. Just a lot of stuff. These are cabbage and baby. These are baby. These are my babies from the seeds broccoli. I'm not sure if they're going to make it. So I'm covering these at night because they're so young. And I think the frost, you see how they're looking kind of wilted. So I'm thinking, if I don't keep these covered, they're not going to make it. So I'm covering them every night, taking the covers off so that they can get some air. But I think maybe I'll need them covered. But this cabbage is rounding up real nicely already. So I think we're going to have a good harvest of cabbage too this year. This is all cabbage, looking good. And these are, I put in some Brussels sprouts randomly. And so that is, I am so super excited though about um, looking kind of wintry out here, but baby, it's green outside. It's green over here. There's lots of green stuff. There's still a lot of work to be done. And what we're going to do is we're going to do the work. And if that's not a pretty sight, that mobile garden, that is, and I'm putting up 3 towers today onto the porch so that we can start growing out of those as well. I like making mobile gardens, and the reason why is because if I ever have to leave here, God forbid, I could put these bags on a truck and take them with me. Did y'all catch that? I can pick these bags up and load them onto the truck like furniture and take them with me. Do you understand? So if you don't have anything else, you should create a mobile garden. Do you hear that? Look at this. These can all go with me. Every single one of them. This is the tinted garden, y'all. I'm gonna give you the last look because it's not a fail. Even though the summer crops didn't work, this is not a fail. Look how beautiful this is. This is all the green vegetables that were underneath those summer crops. I need you to see that. Isn't that absolutely gorgeous? Absolutely the most beautiful experience I have had. Citrus is doing well. Jasmine's going to grow up and start trellising. I love that for me. I can always take the panels off, start winding the jasmine around. I actually want to put them in the ground, so I'm thinking about whether I should go ahead and carve them out and put them in the ground because they can get really, really big. These jasmine right here, they're winter. They grow all year. The winter won't kill them. So that's the beautiful. I have them on all four corners so that we have a beautiful, fragrant garden growing in here as well. So I just think that we think about all that is possible. Think about all that is possible when you are planting and what it's going to look like in the future, right? For me, it's really about not continuing to have to do so much work because I'm 62 years old. In another month, I'll be 63. And for me, it's really about how do I lessen my load? How do I take care of myself and lessen the load for me to have success in the garden without, my body always being, at the plow, right? So I want you all, those of you who desire to grow, get in here. It is time now to start thinking about your spring mobile garden. If you want to create a mobile garden, it's time for you to think about that right now because these packages, it takes these vegetables at least some 30 just to germinate, right? So if it's 30 days to germination, then you should be planting something now that will germinate, within that 30 days. And then it takes a lot more for it to grow and be viable for the spring. So it is time right now to not sit on sit down, but to really plan out. Go to your extension office. Find out what grows in your area. Then pick the things that you enjoy eating. Grow that. Do not try to be growing every thing that you want thing out here and you're not going to eat it. You see what I'm saying? Because I eat all of these vegetables. Listen. My goal is to make medicine, to grow it and to create medicine. If I can't eat it all at one time, I have preservation methods. I can make them freeze dry them down to some powder and put them in pill form. And I will have my greens every day, a daily dose of greens, as my vitamins versus vitamins I buy from the store. So it's critical that you process your what you want now. A good trick to take it from 30 days to 7 is get a damp paper towel, put your seeds in. Exactly. I do that as well. That's how I did my avocados. You know, seeds I purchased some and I ate the avocado and I planted, and that's where these are from my own seeds that I had. So yeah, you can do that. You can produce them quick. Ziploc bag in a dark place, and your seeds will be ready in a week. Bloodstained believer. I'm gonna try it so that we can see, and because I have done, all sorts of methods, and I'm gonna try that one that you mentioned because we have to work for ourselves. We have to work for our health. I am standing here looking at the most beautiful scene in my garden. That's my the most beautiful thing. I'm standing in a garden, and I'm standing in the middle of a garden. All around me is food. You see, you have to decide. You have to decide what that's going to look like. So I made it what I wanted it to be. You want to do? Then try it. Where do you? What zone are you in? Yeah, this is the avocados. Like I said, these got a little burnt, a little bit, but my stems look good. My stems are green, and I'm gonna cover them because they don't like cold. So, but I'm gonna leave these two. But I wanted them in big bags so that they can start growing like big trees, like they should, because they were just in small pots. But I'm gonna fertilize them and keep them nice and warm. I'm thinking about a burlap bag may do those well. Get a burlap bag and put a burlap bag around them. I think that that would do well. But the citrus is doing well, as you can see. You see the lemons, clomidins. Yeah, I'm excited. Y'all, you see the lime right there? My finger's right there on the lime. This is beautiful to me. I mean, let's do it, y'all. Let's make our tear it up, tear the ground up. Well, most of us out here growing grass, and you can't eat that grass, or maybe you can. You just don't know what it is. You said I'm from Ohio, so most things we do here, we have to make sure we set up a winter plan. Absolutely, because it's cold up there, baby. I'm from Philadelphia, but I have been in the South for many, many, many years, and it's growing. It grows. This is what growing looks like here, but it's still cold. I mean, I'm in the tent, but look, it's cold out here. It was down in the 20s last night. The other night, 20. It was freezing, below freezing. But look at this. Is that not pretty? Or what? Is that not pretty? Yes, we're going to get some snow too, but guess what? All of these vegetables going to survive the snow. Every single one of them. The snow going to lay on them, flatten them. It might even break a branch. But what I'm going to do is I'm going to go put a high I'm going to put some tunnels up. I'm going to put some tunnels up just in case, because I don't want them broken. I don't want the leaves broken. So I think that you should cover them when you have threats of snow, because the snow is heavy. Yes, walnut trees and apple trees, exactly. I've got 6 of them. Did you see my apple trees that I grew from seeds? Bloodstained believer? I'll show you. Hold on. We're going to go into the small tent. I got one apple tree in the yard right now. It's right there against the fence. I don't know if you can see it, but it needs a friend right there. It's growing up right there. You see it? But apples grow in, you have to put several of them together. That's the orchard area. I took everything up. It's going to sleep now. So it's a bunch of blackberries over there. So it's going to be beautiful. But let me show you my apple trees. I've got apple, oranges, citrus, lots of blueberries, blackberries. I love fruit. But we're going to go in here so I can show you these apples. This is blueberries too. Now they have to be together. You have to have 2 of them together. They like companionship. So you have to also know your vegetables. Um, but I'm going to take you back in here because I want to show you these apples I grew from seeds. One seed, one apple, one apple, born, blood-born believer. Look at them. Those are my apple trees. I have 6, 7 of them. And they're growing really, really nicely. They took a hit in the summer. They don't like the heat. So they didn't like that heat. You want a blackberry bush? Well, now's the time. If you anywhere near a Lowe's had them for on sale, $13. That's why I got so many of them. These are my roselle seeds. Have you ever heard of roselle? I grow the most beautiful roselle, and these are my seeds from the roselle. Have you ever heard of the Jamaican roselle? That's it, right there. You see all those seeds? Each pod has about 7 or 8 seeds in it. So imagine, just imagine all those seeds. Look at that. Look at that eggplant. It didn't do well, so I put it up there. I said, well, I'm going to get the seeds out of it. I'm going to let it dry out and get the seeds. These are all seeds. Once you have seeds, you're doing good, baby. You put them seeds, you dry them out, and you store them bad boys. This is Thai basil seeds. This is my pollinators love this stuff. This is holy basil, and it's everywhere. I know I'm gonna have to do something because it's everywhere, and I don't want to lose the seeds. This is my basil. No, this is stevia. Stevia is hard to stevia is hard to germinate, but I know how to bed it down. I bedded down my stevia bed because it came back from last year. This is it. It usually doesn't survive. It's an annual. These are peppers. I'm just letting them dry out, and I make my own pepper sauce. And this is some basil. I took most of my basil in, but I needed the seeds. You have to save the seeds. You know, you gotta save some seeds. Wise men are men who plant trees in whose shade they will never feel. And one day someone will walk under your tree and sit in the shade that makes you an amazing person. Oh, thank you, Bloodstained Believer. That's heartfelt. That's really heartfelt. Super, super heartfelt. Thank you. Made my Monday because I really slept in this morning because I'm so fatigued. I'm working on an event, 50th year anniversary for this weekend, and Sunday will come and it will be over, and I won't be tired. I'll be back out here doing what I love, right? So that's the tour for today, y'all. That's it. That's all we have, and I was super excited to share. Oh no, I got some more to share with y'all. These are the tomatoes and potatoes I harvested. I have a whole nother little tent out here. Potatoes, tomatoes, and they were green, so I put them. And look, this is my bag. This is my last summer harvest, y'all. Y'all take a good picture. This is the last summer harvest. These are the tomatoes from that tree that didn't survive, and I'm gonna keep them. I'm gonna put them in here just like everything else, and they turned green. They were green too, and they all turned red. So I'm gonna put them in there. This is the 2 peppers that survived. Yeah, that's my last summer harvest. Look at that. I'm going to take a picture of it and post it. But saying, she said, I saved all the seeds from my bell peppers. Yes, this year, and I wish I would have saved some of the tomato seeds. They were delicious this year. Oh, wow. Yeah, I got to plant my tomatoes sooner. I think that they need to be planted in June, um, maybe even sooner than that. Because it takes them a long time to get to fruit. Um, but we'll work it out. I got 3 towers to put up today. These are my towers. My green stalks came in, so I got to put those together. And we'll put those up here on the patio deck and put some flowers in them until get back in this heat, y'all, because it's cold out there. Whew. That's the tour for today. But let me share one more thing with y'all. I have I'm still cooking turkeys because turkeys are on sale. And remember what I told y'all, that y'all have to get this food and cook it up and store it, right? So look, I'm gonna be cooking turkeys until they don't sell them anymore. Look at this. Let me wash my hands real quick. Let me wash my hands real quick. to show y'all. I want to show you the the bone broth. It's still cooking. Oh, it smells so good. This is the bone broth. This is medicine. And what you do with this is you jar it. So today I'm going to put up this bone broth. Yes, sir. Putting up this bone broth. And I have another turkey cooking that I'm going to freeze dry. Um, Bloodborne Believer says, what is a few plants that you don't have that you would like to grow next year? Um, that I don't have? Um, hmm. Honestly, I want to try my hands at mushrooms. Yeah, it would. But you can make whatever you want to make out of it. You can just make the broth because it can be it can be the base of a lot of things. It can be the base, right? Just like this. I made some of the clearer broth. This is broth. You see that? Look how good that looks. Turkey broth. It's canned. So you can can a lot of things. So you can can your own marinara. This is my marinara sauce. So I have 6 of them. I don't buy a lot, but I love to have them with my taco chips. So I've got 6 jars of that. And I've got some bone broth here. And this is my fresh cranberry juice. Fresh cranberry juice. And it's so good. They had cranberries on sale for 97 cents. When I went back to the supermarket, yesterday, they was $2.34. That's what I'll be talking about when I'm telling y'all to shop in season. When when Thanksgiving came, the cranberries are always going to be on sale. They were 97 cents, and yesterday they were $2.34 at the same store. The oil that's floating in that, this is the bone broth. Yeah, this is all of the broth. Yeah, it has fatty substance. It has its own fatty substance. That's what makes it so good. You put it in your collard. You don't put nothing else. You don't have to put none of that fatty pork in there. You don't have to put no fatty bones in there. You just take a jar of this bone broth, baby. And you just take this and put it inside your greens. And baby, you got some greens. You hear me? Especially if you're not a pork eater, right? Because we don't want to be eating that, right? Even though sometimes we have, but I'm not. I'm diminishing meat. Like if bone broth is cool, but I'm really trying to get into not eating none of that. But if I have to have a soup base, I would rather have a vegetable soup base or turkey broth to make a nice noodle soup, chicken noodle soup. You could do all sorts of things, but you have to be very intentional about what you want to stock up. And you said, Bloodborne Believer, you said something about what I want to grow. I believe I want to try mushrooms because my property actually produces mushrooms, but I don't know enough about the mushrooms to know whether they're good for me or not. So I'm getting certified in naturopathy, so that I can know for sure that I'll know these plants, and I am in with my extension office. I take a lot of classes. I do a lot of research as a social scientist, so I'm a researcher too. And I'm always researching food and the things that, keep us well and how we can utilize our food as medicine versus, doctors. I'm not putting anything against doctors. Some people got to go, but how we can use our food to stay healthy or stay out of the office. Do you understand what I'm saying? To stay out of the office. um, Bloodstained Believer says, I've never done a broth before, so I may have to look into that. Yeah, look into that. So let me tell you how I do it. And I might do the video for you so you can see it. First of all, you want to clean your jars. You want to distill those. I put them in my water bather, and I'll bathe them down. Make sure they're nice and clean. And then I will, I cook my broth from my turkey scrappings and everything, the celery, all the leftovers from the turkey. I'll cook it down, including the bone, right? Cook it down real good and cook it for about 72 hours. And the bone's going to fall apart too. So you get that good, I'm telling you, you're getting the goods, the good goods, right? Um, and then you strain it. You strain it and get all of the juices off. I take the the meat textures and things like that, and I'll give it to freeze dry it and give it as snacks to my chickens because they love snacks and they love that turkey. I've got bags and bags of it from last year that I made myself, my own chicken snacks because this is expensive. You can go buy the snacks, but they're $30. If I can make my own, so the turkey go a long way. And then I'll put them into these jars right here, like I'm supposed to, because you put them in your clean jars, and then you water bathe them so you can seal them. See, this is sealed. If this is popped, if the top is popped, if there's a bubble, then it's not sealed. It means that something didn't work. And that's it. So I'll show you what I'm talking about real quick. And you can test your seals. So if I were to take this top off and hold this upside down, you see it's sealed. Now, if this top is not level and that bubble pops up, that means that it's not sealed. So I'll put my liquid into the jars and I will water bathe them for up to 30 minutes. 30 minutes in a water bath, vigorous boil. And then I will turn the burner off and let it uncover them and let them sit for 5 minutes. I'll take these out and then I'll let these sit. And they're ready to go. They're ready to go on the shelf. And you want to date them so you'll know what date. These are brand new. So these were done last week, 11/25. I'm using the ones from last year. I used the ones from last year for Thanksgiving this year. And when I tell you, my husband was like, "This the best." He said, "Wait, this is the best Thanksgiving meal. Like I think in 30 years. Like this is the best one. All the stuff I made myself, all of it. No store bought broths, none, absolutely none. The peppers from in the collards. He likes the bone broth and the collards. There was no meat in there. He doesn't like the meat in his vegetables. He does not like them mixed with that meat, meat parts. You don't like it. I use the bone broth inside of my turkey stuffing. So y'all can't tell me that. Mm-hmm. You can use it for all of your vegetables. Vacuum seal them. Yep, I got a vacuum sealer. Now, do I vacuum seal these tops right here? No, because they're sealed from the water bath. Oh, no, I haven't canned. I freeze dry my vegetables. I haven't canned the vegetables yet. I freeze dry them and put them in Mylar bags. They last longer. Because sometimes I like to just eat the vegetables as a snack. So I can just take a bag and open it and just eat it. because I really just eat potato chips for the crunch. So why not eat the vegetables for a crunch since they're dry? So it makes sense, right? I did carrots and green beans and corn and whatever vegetable. I have broccoli. I've got mushrooms. I use different methods. So I like to just eat the snacks. I like to eat the vegetables, and I like to don't always have to have them, as a in their raw state. I can eat them as snacks and still, because when you freeze dry, all you're doing is pulling the water out, not the nutrients, just the water. And you can reconstitute it, because even when I made my Thanksgiving dinner, my onions, my peppers, and my celery were all from vegetables I dehydrated last year. I took them out and reconstituted, put them in some cold water, and boom, I had my vegetables to make my meals. That is how you have to establish yourself to avoid the price hikes. I didn't have to go and buy those things this year. I got jars and jars of them up there, right up there. And bags of freeze dried stuff. You can do it. Y'all can do it. Y'all can do it. Because I believe in you. And just like Bloodstained Believer is asking questions, if you are here and you want to know, ask the questions. Listen, I didn't know none of this stuff. I watched videos, I asked questions, I inquired, I educated myself. I was like, because I want to do that. Uh-oh, looks like my battery is getting weak. And I don't want to lose this video, so let me plug in real quick. Hold on, y'all. Because I don't want to lose y'all. There we go. So, when you have questions, you have to ask the people who are doing it. That way you can get our successes and our failures. And I think it's important for us to share our failures, because everything's not always successful. You don't want people to think that just because it looks good that you didn't fail a time or two. Because I failed a time or two. But I'm also very meticulous, though, about making sure I have enough knowledge to start, you know, um, to start a thing. I'm not just because I don't want to fail. But will you? Yep, you will. A time or two. Okay? So just know that. But instead of just failing, come on these videos and ask these questions, Ask the questions that's gonna help you to get to be successful. Bloodstained Believer says, I've thought about trying to can vegetables, but doing a pickle, I don't know how pickled green beans would taste, but it sounds interesting. So that's fermenting. That's my next thing, because actually, Bloodstained Believer, fermented food is the best food for you. I have been exploring Japanese eating styles, their food styles. And they eat, the reason why they have great gut health, great success, great weight management, is because they eat a lot of fermented food. And I've been studying that. Matter of fact, I just found this book. I went to the bookstore. This is how interested I was in it. This is an old book now. This might insult somebody, but it did not insult me. Okay, it says Japanese women don't get old, or you can see the title. And I thought, let me read that because I'm interested in knowing, because I've always wanted to know. Even growing up as a kid, why are they so small? Like, why they never had no weight? Why? They are trained. They're in their homes. They're trained to eat warm miso soup in the morning, fermented. They eat soy. Their for miso is a form of a paste that is for soybeans that are fermented over time, and it takes up to a year just to ferment it in large amounts. My cats are acting weird. Um, but it takes a while for them to ferment. But I tried the miso soup. I love it, and that's with tofu. I'm a little allergic to soybeans, but I've not been having a. My body gets better over time. Um, but I've been loving it in the morning, just as a warm cup of miso, putting vegetables. You like things like sauerkraut. Sauerkraut is fermented. If you take taste a teaspoon of that, and they eat in threes. They eat in threes and very small amounts, like serving sizes. The problem with America is that we don't know what a serving size is, because all we are served is too much food on our plates. So we don't know what that means. But for me as a mom, I always fed my children serving sizes, because that's what I was taught through women, infant, and children. When I was receiving WIC, things like that, um, I was trained by the charts, and look at serving sizes, because why are we eating 12 ounces of steak in one sitting when a serving size is an ounce, like the size of a meatball? A serving size is 1 ounce, the size of a meatball. We're trained to overeat and see, and that's what I've been learning about that culture, is that they don't, and then they wake up their digestive system with something warm, warm water, warm water with lemon juice. They wake up, and then when they go to bed, they go to sleep with something warm, fermented in their gut, so they have really great gut health. So I am really following that, because at my age, I want to live my best version of myself. And I'm only here to share with you guys because I'm on a journey. I'm on a journey, but you don't have to wait till you're 63 to be on that journey. You need to do it now while you're young, because I think a lot of the reason why younger people are struggling is because they didn't have that, or they weren't trained that way. Many of them don't even know what it's like to sit at the dinner table with their parents. That's not all young people, but a lot of them. You understand? Because it's a different time, and we really need to get back to that. We need to get back to that good health, good home economics, that good home household behavior, with each other, that has us talking to each other and not in these phones. Anyway, that's another whole story. We won't talk about that today, but I want y'all to gain something from what I'm sharing. My channel is, God has given me a gifted ministry. Touch one life, touch millions. If I can, you give me one person today, God, who is an influencer, that who is going to be an influencer to touch millions of lives. Let me pour into that one person. I'll go after the one, God. One, touch one life, touch millions. That's my calling, to go after the one that will go touch millions. You understand what I'm saying? Because we'll never know that we all have a calling, a purpose, and we have people who are attached to our destiny. So if we never show up as the strong, on purpose person that God created us to be, then we have let down those that were attached to us. That's a whole message. So if you are here today, Father, I thank you for the one that will see this video. I thank you for all of the questions that Bloodstained Believer has. I thank you, Father God, for those who had questions and may didn't feel comfortable asking them. I thank you, Father, for those who are just looking, give them the brevity and the courage to do or to act or to be responsive in this time to the things so that they can benefit in a world where there is so much turmoil and trials and tribulations. And Father, I thank you personally for those that you put here today to share the wisdom, the knowledge and understanding and wisdom to apply all of those things to help someone else. So Father, I do thank you for those things. So if you've gained something, say hallelujah, and go tell somebody, right? Share the video and go tell somebody, on the mountain. My brother passed away a couple months ago and he told me, he said, go tell it on the mountain, sis, that Jesus Christ is Lord. He believed in me and I miss him dearly. He passed away and he was too young. He was too young to die, in my opinion. He had diabetes. And all the things that I do today are things that could have saved him if he had listened. That he could have changed all of it. He could have reversed his numbers. He could have saved his limbs. He could have he could have had great heart health. He could have had so many healthy habits. But you have to want those things. You don't have to die young. My brother was 63 years old. That's too young. Clock Ender says, what are you going on about? Oh, I'm going to let you go back and check out the video, okay? And yes, I love Jesus. Because, baby, at the end of the day, you and everybody else going to see that that's going to be the only thing that's going to last. So don't come over here mocking. Don't come over here with your mockery because God don't play about me. You better go somewhere and repent. You better go repent. You get to do that. He is. He's the King of Kings and the Lord of Lords. And you better, sir, clock ender, you better go repent because I'm calling you out. I'm calling you out. I'm by the end of the day, by the end of the day, that Jesus will make his way. That he will make his way to convict your spirit for mocking him. Okay? There's documented. I'm a sign, a miracle, and a wonder. I am the testimony. I am the evidence that God is real. 2.6 ounces, 1963, no minor medicine, born at 24 weeks. I am the evidence. And I will go tell it on the mountain. So you are looking at a true testimony. So if you want some evidence, okay. I don't argue with fools. Peace. Y'all, it's time for me to go. I got a lot of work to do today for this conference. So we gotta follow the money today. Y'all go and be blessed. Have the most amazing day. And whatever you do, don't let anyone get in the way on your journey to becoming who God has called you to become, because there is something attached, something and someone who needs somebody attached to your destiny. All right. Bye for now.